My name is Helena Maruško and I work in the field of psychotherapy and mental health. And I'm also a workshop facilitator for adults in the learning process here at Ljudska Univerza Jesenice. I think that lifelong learning now and in the future will be an essential part of life and something that you cannot actually avoid or be without. And I think that lifelong learning it's something that should be ingrained in us in schools and at the very start of our development. And that the zest and the passion for learning should be something that it's well nurtured in us, in people. And I think that in the future lifelong learning will ensure that you will be competent, that you will be skillful, that you will be able to develop in different stages of your life and reach your goals, because life is changing so fast and technology, of course, is constantly requiring that you're up to date with the developments and that you really learn step by step what is the issues that are important to be addressed in order for you to function in a society and to reach the goals that you would like to reach and to live a quality life, to really have a very satisfying life. And seriously, I think that the love and the passion for learning, it's something that should be in the basic of all of us, and something that children should really acquire as soon as possible, because when they have this in them and they actually accept that learning is great, that learning is something that makes your life better, there will be also this seeking of new things, and without pushing away or without basically running from improving yourself or being stuck in a route and basically being without this development that is all around you. I think that yes, it can adapt quickly, but again, it's up to us. What is our attitude? And I think that with the technology, the artificial intelligence will never replace the human side, and it will be always used as a tool, but the approach of teaching of humans, of us, of people, cannot be replaced by artificial intelligence. And I think that learning can very easily adapt if we have the right attitude towards it, if we actually see it again as a tool and not something that is capable of leading us or of taking over our ways of thinking, our ways of doing, but in a very balanced collaboration. And I think if we actually seek a balance, this is something that we all can benefit from. I think that now the competences that educators for adults need most is basically the skill of emotional intelligence, and empathy, because I think that approaching adults in the process of teaching and of learning, of course, it's very linked to understanding different personalities and different individual perspectives. And I also think that in the future, these skills with the development of technology will be even more important. Of course, along with the skills of digital literacy and of being in touch with the trends and developments of the technologies and of the platforms for learning that are very well established in the global perspective. So I think that it's important to search for the perfect balance between the technology and how to give knowledge, how to actually teach with the use of technologies, and also with this human side, how to basically approach each individual in the way the individual needs or seeks. So I think that the educators will have this challenge to search within themselves, to develop emotional intelligence, to develop the empathy and compassion skills, to really get closer and a positive approach to adults in the context of the usage, of the wide usage of technology. The minimum knowledge, I think that, I think that the minimum knowledge would be the knowledge of yourself, who you are, in order to function in a society, in order to develop tolerance and sustainability. And I think that the minimum knowledge is the knowledge about what do you require, what are your needs, and how can you actually be placed in the world in connection with others. I always think that the minimum knowledge is the knowledge that actually comes from yourself, from the person. And I think that schools should also help people and help children to know themselves better. And I think that this is the minimum knowledge, to actually that you know who you are and what are your values, and how can these values help the values and support the values of the societies, in order for all of us to prosper and to live in a tolerant, plural, and multicultural society. Well, I imagine that work will be very linked, of course, to technology. And I think that machines will become an essential tool for working, and that I think that we people will be very, very linked to machines, and that it will be like a collaboration with technology, that maybe the technology will be the problem solver, while we as people will be the problem seeker or the problem finder. So I think that it's important for the future, and I imagine that the work will be very much still not. I think that the artificial intelligence won't take over, or the robots will not take over. I think that technology, I hope, will still be used by us, by people, and not that technology, that we people will be used by technology. And I think that it's essential to establish regulation and establish healthy monitoring, in order that we will prevent this to happen, so the technology will start using us. I think that these issues are addressed now, and also by these big technological companies like Google and of course social media, because I think that this ethical issue is being more and more recognized as crucial and important, and for the work of tomorrow, of the future, I think that this will be even more important, that we use technology as a tool and not vice versa. Well, with the emerging of social media, the participation, of course, I think it's enhanced and it's strengthened, and it's bigger, and it spreads. And I think that people have, of course, the means and the channels to express themselves, to participate. However, I think it's also challenging because this participation can be quite influenced. And I think that in order to enhance and facilitate a healthy participation, a healthy citizenship, I think that it's very important that, of course, knowledge and the proper sources are strengthened, and that people have access and are aware where they can turn to, who are the reliable sources, where they can find reliable information, in order to form also a genuine participation, a genuine citizenship. So I think that the media and the channels, especially the online channels, are giving a very nice and good platform for people to express themselves, to really participate in important issues that affect all of us and our society. But I think, again, as I said before, that we should be very careful, and also that have this regulation in place, that some manipulations or fake news or other influences that might badly affect this participation will not intervene. I actually do think that yeah, the future is a big project made of little small projects, and I think that this fragmentation maybe of different skills and of different professions is requiring that some tasks are actually molded, formed into projects. And I see actually I actually look at this in a very positive way, because I think that it's all a big project, but it's just important how we actually approach maybe this project management. I think that project maybe should not look at something temporary or something ephemeral, that it just arises and it disappears, but it's maybe just a phase, maybe a phase in a long term. And I think that our life and our development and our life stages are made of different phases. And if you look also at the work field, I think that there is the times when you have like a work for 30-40 years, it's long gone. And I think that in the future maybe we'll have short terms jobs like projects, but there's nothing wrong with this, because I think that within one project you can actually learn different types of things, and when you develop in the next project, you acquire new skills and new attitudes. And I think that project management and it is a way of living and working within projects also enhances this lifelong learning. And I think that the future will support this way of working too. I don't see any danger, because I think that there always will be a collective problem solving, and I think that in this global world will be even more collective. And with this facilitation of technology, of all these technology channels that actually support connection, the collective problem solving will be even more available to all of us. And you know, these platforms for crowdsourcing, you know, they're very much used, and I think that the collective side of society is strengthening by these technologies and by these practices of connecting globally. So I don't see that there will be individualism and the collectives. I don't see these sides very separate, but I think that they merge. I see that in each collective activity there is a must and there is an imperative of an individual act. And I think that individual acts will actually form a very supportive and constructive collective change. I think that e-learning will be more and more used, and I think that the platforms and the tools of e-learning will be even more developed, and I think that they will facilitate the learning process more and more. And I see great potential in that, because e-learning, if it is done well, it really enhances and it really enriches the learning experience so much, because it just addresses the learning process from different angles. And I think not only that you can learn better, but that you can actually make better connections, that maybe e-learning can also bring you materials and information from different fields and help you to connect things together, to really have not only a rich experience, but also that you use this knowledge that you acquire in a more thoughtful and a more sensible way. So, for example, the platform of Coursera or Udemy, I think they're amazing, and I am myself using their courses a lot, and I'm surprised how well are they prepared, and how much do I enjoy gaining the knowledge from different sides, because they're not only videos, they're not only quizzes, but this is like you have a forum, you have an essay, you have some questions, you have subtitles in videos, so you can actually listen and read. Then, for example, you can also chat with real people, not only technological tools. And I think that the learning experience, it's far better. And again, it's not only technology, but of course it's also the collaboration of the human side. And I think the merge of both, it's great, and it's cool, and it's also useful. I think that the main challenge is to empower people to use properly the e-learning tools, because the digital literacy, I think it's quite crucial, and I must say that maybe not in all parts of the society, especially maybe in the elderly part of society, they're not so well equipped for using the digital technologies. So I think that the main challenge is to empower people of all ages to be able to use e-learning tools, and again to have this good balance, that it shouldn't be only e-learning, but it should be balanced with with this human side, with and how you can apply this knowledge, and you still need someone, a mentor, a tutor maybe, that it's just covering your back, that it's just there so you can maybe go to if you have some questions, because I don't think that technology can address all the issues. So the main challenge is, of course, digital literacy and the right balance, the right mix with a supervisor or a person that monitors the process and it's there for you, for your support.